My name is Riley Seid. I'm usually a couple feet in that direction, but this morning I have the unique privilege of sharing my story of how God's grace was poured out into my life through my time here at TMS. If I could sum up that story for you in one sentence, it would be this: that the church brought me to TMS, and TMS taught me how to love and serve the church. My story with this seminary didn't actually begin with the seminary. It began with Grace Community Church. I was a 17-year-old kid leaving home for the first time, starting my freshman year at UCLA. And I thought I knew some stuff. It turns out I didn't know anything. And so through the sheer providence of God, I found my way to a campus Bible study called Grace on Campus. It turns out this Bible study was part of a local church in Sun Valley called Grace Community Church, and they provided rides to church on Sunday. And so one weekend I signed up, I got in a stranger's car, and I wound up here on this campus, and my life would be changed forever. I remember my first Sunday here. I remember being just a little bit shell-shocked. It felt like there were more people on the stage of this church than there were in my entire church back home. I remember thinking there were a lot more suits and ties here. I remember thinking there were a lot less NIV Bibles here. And the thing that stuck out the most to me, and the thing that continues to stick out the most to me, was that whenever I was here, I learned the Bible in a way that I had never before. Whether it was from the pulpit at the campus Bible study at UCLA, from the pulpit in Crossroads, or from the pulpit in main service with John MacArthur, the power and the beauty of Scripture was clarified and applied to my heart in a way that it had never been before. And so although I came here to LA to pursue a career in healthcare, God had other plans as he would grow in my heart this desire to not only study the word, but to serve his people through the word, just as I had received it so faithfully here at this church. After I graduated UCLA, I moved up to Northern California in San Jose, and I worked for just about 2 years overseeing the music ministry of a church up there. And for the 2 years that I was there, my desire to learn and to train for pastoral ministry and preaching only grew, and I knew that there was no place that I would rather do that than the place where it all began, right here. I didn't have the means to make that happen on my own, but the Lord provided every single opportunity, opened every single logistical door to make that happen through the generosity of the donors, through work opportunities here at the church. And so in January of 2022, I began my studies here in the MDiv at TMS. The next 4 years of my life would show me that, much like being a freshman in college, I still knew nothing. And now, it's kind of granted that coming in, you don't already know Greek or Hebrew. Dr. Lemaster might say, I still don't know Greek or Hebrew. But what I did learn here, and what I value most from my time here, is that all of the language that I learned, all of the theology that I learned, all of the history that I learned were simply tools to serve the church that Jesus died for. I want nothing more than to do that faithfully, and I am so grateful to this seminary and its faculty for teaching me how to use those tools for God's glory and for the good of God's people. This sweet church brought me here to TMS, and this seminary in return taught me how to love and serve the church. It would be impossible for me to tell you all of the ways that God has been gracious to me in these last 4 years, but there are some people that I need to thank this morning. First, I do want to thank the people of Grace Church and of Crossroads for welcoming me as a college student and as a seminary student. Thank you for the privilege of allowing me to serve you over these years. Thank you to Chris G., the shepherd of that UCLA Bible study that I found as a college student. He gave me my first taste of expository preaching, and helped me think through what it would look like to pursue pastoral ministry. Thank you to Austin Duncan, who went from being my college pastor to my seminary professor, to my boss, and to my friend. And he, in every one of those roles, modeled selflessness and genuine worship of Jesus. Finally, and most importantly, thank you to my wife, Erica. Grace Church was the second best thing I found at UCLA because that's where I met my wife. Erica, thank you for how you have constantly and selflessly loved and displayed Christ to me. You are God's greatest gift of grace to me, and I could not be more grateful to him for you in my life. If all goes according to plan, I will finish my MDiv here in the next 3 weeks, and then just a week or two after that, we are expecting our first baby to be born. It's a trait I'm looking forward to, but it's one that we certainly need prayer for. So for both life and ministry in this next chapter, we would greatly appreciate your prayers. Psalm 115, verse 1. Not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name give glory, for the sake of your steadfast love and your faithfulness. Thank you.